Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to another edition of Iowa Pagan News on the Prairie Land Radio Network. And this afternoon, we are joined by my special guest, Edward Scott, who is a member or one of the co-founders of the Pagan Rights Coalition. Plus, he's also a singer. He's a author, musician, you name it. He's been doing a lot of it in the community. And this afternoon, we're actually joined by him this afternoon. He's also going to be sharing his website with us this afternoon. So you have a chance to take a look at it. And that way you know where you can find him. Good afternoon, Ed, and thank you for joining me this afternoon. Unfortunately, we're not able to be joined by my co-host. He had a family emergency this afternoon, so we're just going to proceed on without her tonight.
Okay, no problem. Thank you for having me.
You're very welcome. And now you and I have already had a couple of really good discussions. One of the things that I was going to cover here on the broadcast, and that a couple of things that I had heard in some videos by our younger generation. One of which we just got done discussing this about. She had basically made a statement that in certain traditions you can initiate yourself, which basically is incorrect. Uh,
Oh,
so go ahead.
self-initiation. Okay, as a solitary, there is a thing called self-initiation, which is done as basically a wickening between yourself and the goddess. However, claiming a actual tradition such
Hmm.
as Gardnerian, Alexandrian, Karelian, um, Famtrad, um, Sax Wicca, and so forth, unless you're initiated by a high priest or high priestess, you can't actually be initiated. You cannot actually be initiated unless you have an actual high priest or high priestess initiate you into the craft itself. However, I would recommend to all the new practitioners that if you are going to be a solitary practitioner, you call yourself an eclectic witch, because this way you can cover any form of tradition that you feel comfortable in, that you've studied, such as Joe. Sorry, excuse me, Ray. I apologize for that. But Raymond Buckland's Sax Wicca, which was, if you studied his books and you want to practice your craft according to his books and his standards, then you can call yourself an eclectic with a Sax Wiccan background.
Gotcha.
But calling yourself an initiate in that sense, in the old ways and in most coven traditions, no, doesn't apply.
Right. It's pretty much the reason why when people ask me what my path is, I've always explained to them that it's a eclectic path of antiquity, which to me it symbolizes that I value the old ways.
Okay, that makes sense. Now, I'm assuming you're a solitary too?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. I've pretty much been a solitary for quite a while, but like we were discussing before we went on the air, that I made the decision to take training under Tamara Forsland, who is a high priestess and has her own clan down there in Australia. And she has pretty much welcomed me to take part in her classes. So that's what I've got plans on.
Well, taking part in the classes of another coven is I think, an admirable and honorable thing to do, because, in fact, you can learn from every tradition.
Hmm.
And having an elder like myself, who is a teacher, willing to sit down with you, work with you, and teach you the ways, I think is beneficial to any and I mean any new practitioner of the craft. Find yourself an elder. Find yourself a teacher. Not only through your books, through your through the media, but find an elder or a teacher in the craft that can sit there and guide you and direct you.
Mm-hmm.
There are some of us online who are doing online courses right now. I myself am one of them. I've been doing regular online single 15-minute videos on various different topics within the craft. In fact, the first video I did was on pagan spirituality and the 13 goals of the witch.
Ah, very good.
And the reason I chose that as my first class and lesson online was because the simple fact is that within the craft, the most important goal and the first goal of the witch is know thyself.
Right.
Self-awareness. And that's the one thing I stress with all my students, new and beginning, even advanced students who haven't had the opportunity to learn how to become self-aware.
Right.
I go back and take them from the beginning. I also mentioned about the year and a day principle, which I don't think many people are familiar with.
Well, especially when it comes to our younger generation coming in, I don't think they are well aware of that.
Okay, well, to explain what the year and the day is actually within coven traditions. In order to reach degree, we have a degree system. It goes from seeker to initiate to first to second to third degree.
Mm-hmm.
And it takes a minimum, and I stress the word minimum, amount of time of the year and a day in order to go from one degree to the next.
Right.
You can't just jump in. And I'm a high priestess, and I've seen this happen. I'm high priestess of Mucky Muck Coven of. It's like, and I've asked them. I said, "How long have you been practicing?" Well, I just started my coven yesterday. And unfortunately, I've had to tell them, "Come back when you grow up, kid."
Yeah, exactly. Yep, that was the same discussion that Tamara was telling me about. With she was at a metaphysical store, and she was promoting her books, and had a young girl about not more than about maybe 17, 18, somewhere in there, come in asking for her, and basically right off the bat introduced herself to Tamara as a high priestess. It's like she looked at the kids and come with me. She sat her down, had a long chat with her. Basically, she helped educate her as to if she's got her own coven and whatnot, then she needs to, before she can ever have that title of high priestess, she's got to undertake training herself.
And second of all, you have to have a full-blown tradition that you've been initiated into, that you've advanced through degrees, that you've taken the ordains.
Yep.
And you've also faced the one most important thing is you've challenged your own high priest or high priestess for possession of a coven, so you can hive.
Right.
Okay. To claim the title of a priest or priestess is one thing. You can claim the title of priest or priestess by the time you're second degree.
Right.
Okay, but to claim a high priest or high priestess title, right, which is basically the same. Yeah, there is a lot of that out there, Jessica. An awful lot.
Yeah, there is. Unfortunately.
We've experienced it. I experienced that back in 1994 when the movie The Craft came out, as well as the book Teen Witch by Silver Ravenwolf came out.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, we had a whole mess of all of a sudden wannabe witches, which I called Plagans, pound the hell out of our classes and our lessons. And it was like cringe where's the ball peen hammer? I want to pop them all on the head with it. Just
Yeah, I know the feeling. I definitely know the feeling. And good afternoon, Brother Harold. Welcome.
but yeah, we experienced that back in the early '90s, and it was not. It was not to say without it being very interesting. And
Yeah,
now we're re-experiencing it again because there is a new birth in our spirituality, a new growth in our spirituality. I've noticed
right.
people are becoming less satisfied with organized religion and seeking actual spiritualism and spiritual paths.
Yep. And I had this same discussion just last night with the with Terry Ireland, who is the owner of Metaphysical Times newspaper. That basically she's got the only newspaper in the community, whereas we've got a lot of magazines, but she's got the only newspaper. And basically, we're already saying that it seems like our numbers are going to increase exponentially over the next couple of years because of our younger generation seeking out actual spiritual paths.
Now, my question is though, is it now we have to be aware of one thing, don't we? Have to be aware of the fact is that it's become faddish,
Hmm. Yeah.
and
I,
that's where us elders in the pagan community need to step up to the plate a little bit more and remind the younger generation and new generation that we're not. This is a way of life. It is a spiritual path. It is something we eat, breathe,
hmm.
sleep, live. Not something we just do,
Right.
just to be doing.
Exactly.
I've been practicing craft since I was 8 years old. My mother was a high priestess in the Alexandrian Wiccan tradition, so I got raised up into the trad. Um,
Understandable.
I'm now 54. If that gives you an idea how long I've been
Oh yeah.
living craft.
Yes. Most definitely. Now, another thing that I came across on a video that I recently watched that we were talking about is the use of watchtowers when calling quarters.
Okay, that comes from the Alexandrian and Guard traditions. Actually, it comes originally from Gardnerian tradition, and the calling of the watchtowers of the elements, being watchtowers of the directions, rather watchtowers of the north, watchtowers of the east, south, and west, basically was a way of describing um, the positioning. Basically of the elements at the same time being able to sit there and give a visualization, if you
Hmm.
will, to the ritual.
Right.
Um, the guardians of the watchtowers are the elementals that make up or are incorporated into the watchtowers. Like you have the sylph for the air, right? You have the
Hmm.
mermaids for the water. You have the salamander for fire, and you have dryad for earth.
Hmm. The thing is, like you said, the last time that I had actually heard the Guardians of the Watchtowers used was back. No, this was several years ago when I attended a Mabon ritual for with standing stones up in Minnesota. I think that was the last time I heard it used.
It's used in some trads. It's not used in others. It depends on the trad. But if they're following a Guard or Alexandrian path or eclectic form of Alexandrian or Gardnerian craft, then it's often used by them.
Hmm. Nice. Okay, now let's get more into what you've been doing with the Pagan Rights Coalition.
Okay, back in 1994, I have a mission statement. This first, we'll just go over that. I'll put it up here.
Yep. Back. We'll get that up there. There we go.
Okay, in the mission statement, it tells about the history of the PRC. And in 1994, the late Dr. John Ray Montandon, her name was Lady Sappho, and myself founded what's called the Pagan's Rights Coalition United Pagan Charities Cooperative. What our hopes were was pulling together like-minded pagans and New Age religious practitioners for support, education, and collaboration. This was our goal. Because there are few, if any, at all, charitable organizations for pagans.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So what we tried to do is create a pagan charity cooperative, which is a 501c3, by the way. We are a 501c3. Okay. To provide a safe place for community and charitable organizations to seek and offer assistance to other people. What our goal was promote tolerance of each other regardless of individual religious beliefs, instead of all the infighting within religions that we experienced.
Right.
Because everybody, though we worship the Creator in many different ways, are still all one people. And as long as we recognize that, we work towards religious tolerance, ensuring the rights of alternative religions, collaborating with the pagan community like I'm doing here with you on the radio and so forth, and providing a central location for pagan charities to have a centralized support. So I do offer a charter to various different organizations. Like right now, chartered with us is Circle Sanctuary, which is Lady Selena Fox.
Right.
We've assisted with many cases where the rights of pagans and New Age practitioners have been dismissed, and ensure those rights are instead upheld and cherished. On my website, I have a compendium, if you will, called the Witch-Tanica Compendium, which has an extensive correspondence list, index, and information links to many different spiritual paths.
Very cool.
We used to work very quietly. We didn't want to be in the public eye as much as in the pagan eye.
Right.
Okay, and the reason being is because being in the pagan eye, public eye, kind of put us in a position where we couldn't. We have more power working in the shadow. In a shadow organization.
Yep, that is very true.
We're now coming out more to the pagan public, and that's why I'm going to, express it here in this forum, in order to help the pagan community a little more and get the pagan outreach.
Right.
So if you find your rights are being violated and you're a pagan and you feel your rights are being violated because of your religious beliefs, right, by all means contact us. We will review your case and decide whether or not you have a case and whether or not it's something we can work with. One of the many cases I've worked with was the Sergeant Patrick Stewart case. I assisted Selena Fox in that case and in that matter, and had that resolved within 3 months.
Very nice. Yep, I know Selena quite well. She and I have had a few discussions.
Yeah, Selena's a great woman.
Yeah, she is. And I mean, it's nice that you're associated with Circle Sanctuary, that you've been assisting her with
and Lady Liberty
League. And the Lady Liberty League is also a very good organization. They've been working with the pagan community for, long before I came into it. I know that.
We've actually been pretty much existing around the same time. Lady Liberty League and PRC have existed around the same amount of time since the early 90s. Because we started off as a BBS group called the Pagan Net.
Oh, I gotcha.
And this was back before the internet was really the internet. We were actually doing the internet before the internet existed. And this is how I met Lady Sappho, actually, was through PaganNet and FidoNet. And her and I became very good friends and worked towards this goal. And in her memory, I kept the goal. I've kept the PRC alive ever since.
Ah, cool.
So it's been it is a long-standing organization. We don't mind when we don't have cases because that indicates to us that things are going pretty smoothly.
Right.
If we get a case, though, we're willing to work the case. Like recently, I worked a case with the Pennsylvania State Department of Corrections.
Yep. You were telling me about that one.
To actually get the Pennsylvania State Department of Corrections to incorporate pagan ritual and stuff like that for the pagan community inside jails. Because under the Detmer Act in 1984, Wicca was recognized by the United States military under Detmer.
Right.
Since that time, it's been a struggle, but of getting us, up to the point we are now, where we're actually, even in the military, being recognized with our pentacle symbol being now in Arlington National Cemetery on pagan military veterans markers. So it's been a bit of a struggle, but it's a worthwhile struggle. I can't complain about the worthwhileness of the struggle. Now, what I'm going to do is, I mentioned a compendium. Would you like me to go into more detail with that?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, I'm going to pull up my compendium here.
Right.
The Wiccanica compendium was actually started as a joke. My coven members and my students told me that I was the Encyclopedia Wiccanica and I should write it. Because I knew more about witchcraft than half of everybody they knew. So I decided to put together the actual compendium. And there's a lot of stuff not on here yet, but that's already finished, but I haven't got it up here yet because the simple fact is that, I haven't decided how I want to format it yet. I do all the web design myself. This entire website's all designed by me.
Yeah, and I can tell that this has been still a work in progress, really.
It's always a work in progress.
And welcome, Angelina. Thank you for joining us. Appreciate it. And let's see, we've got one other person that's chimed in. If you want to click on the live video feed, that way we can see who we are. I don't know if that's Karen or if that's going to be somebody else chiming in, but okay, not a problem there, Angelina. Not a problem. Anyway, happy to have you with us here. Yeah, keep going there, Ed.
Well, anyway, on the compendium itself, and I'm very proud of this one section, I have a section on herbs. There's over 9,000 herbs listed in this section alone.
Oh, wow.
With all their properties, and I'll click on an example of one right now to show you. Everything from the medicinal properties to their interactions with drugs, to disease effects, lab alterations, supplement interactions.
Wow. Okay, now if you've got a listing of 9,000, that had to have taken quite a bit of time to put together too.
About that, the herb section, which is still incomplete, by the way, it's mostly complete. Took me roughly around, I'd say 8-9 months to complete.
Wow. Well, to get to where you are now, anyway.
I just popped up that thing. Hold on a minute. I'll reopen it. That was an accident. I hit the wrong button. Swing this over here. I'm currently working on right now all the sacred texts of every world religion. How's that for a project?
Yeah, I have a feeling that that alone. How long has it taken you to put that together?
Well, I'm currently on the alchemy section. That's why it's not up yet. But I already completed the sacred text of Africa, which is right here.
Mm-hmm.
Completed the sacred text of the Age of Reason, which is the modern age. And that includes Leonardo da Vinci's work, William Henry Burr's work, Thomas Paine's works. As you can see in the thing, covers Einstein.
Yep.
Arthur Lilly, Charles Darwin, Clarence Darrow. So that's still a work in progress. I'm currently working on alchemy right now. Another thing that I'm doing recently is I've already done this, is a full dictionary of Wiccan terms. Oh, hi, kitty. I love cats. So every witch should have a cat.
That's true. She decided that she needed to get in on the action.
But if you notice here, I have a complete dictionary of every Wiccan term from A to Z.
Wow. And I can almost imagine that the alchemy part of it, that's going to be an undertaking in itself.
Well, I have the complete Dhammapada of Buddha right here, too. That's the Buddhist Book of Law.
Hmm.
That's entirely complete.
Wow.
And I have oops, I did it again.
Don't worry about it. I do that all the time myself. So now, with you covering pretty much every world religion known, I mean, I know that it's had to have taken you a bit of time just to get that put together to for just research going into every single one of them.
Well, my goal with it, in honesty, is to have the most concise book on, or the most concise website on the Wiccan pagan traditions and other world religions on the internet. That's my goal. I think I'm succeeding.
Yeah, I would agree with you there. That's even more extensive than what Witchbox could have ever have had.
I have the entire thing on angels and archangels, and this is every angel, by the way.
Yep, I hear people using reference to a lot of archangels, and I know that as long as they know what they're talking about, then have at it. But when they're just trying to spout off something that they're just guessing on, that's not helping matters any.
No, so generally like I said, my compendium is basically on everything. I cover divination, I cover herbal magic, magical, espats. And I on here, and this is something I'm very proud of, I have the actual full Wiccan read.
And one question that I would put out to our younger generation is that just how many of them know about the Wiccan Read and have actually read it.
Well, this is the entire Wiccan Read itself, including the 9 woods, which Lady Sheba, in her Book of Shadows, written in 1974, left out, except for the Elder.
Very nice.
I have the original written by Doreen and Gerald Gardner. Doreen Valiente and Gerald Gardner. This is the complete Wiccan Read.
Oh, nice.
And I do have a lesson on the read, real quick, in a threefold law, if you guys want me to do it.
Sure, go ahead.
Okay, on the threefold law, most people assume where it says, mind you, threefold law, you should 3 times bad, 3 times good. What you send forth comes back to you, so remind the rule of 3. That they assume it's a mathematical principle. It's not. And to demonstrate this, right, all I need is a simple sheet of paper, which I'm going to pull one now. Okay. You take a piece of paper like this. You fold it like you put it into a business envelope. Like you're writing a business letter. So you fold it into the center and then over.
Yep.
Now, if you open it up, you have 3 folds or 3 sections.
Right.
Okay, now this piece of paper now represents you. I haven't changed the size of the piece of paper or anything else, have I?
Nope.
Now, in the first folder section, I have my students write the word physical. Okay. In the second one, I have them write the word emotional. And in the third folder section, I have them write the word spiritual. Then I put them through 2 visualizations. Okay.
Okay.
The first visualization is this. You're walking in the park. There's a young lad or lady flying a kite. The kite falters and crashes to the ground. You walk over to the kite and you crush it under your feet, rendering it into shreds, and walk off. Physically, what is happening to your body right now?
Go ahead and describe it.
Your stomach's starting to get a little upset.
Yeah.
Right? Emotionally, what are you feeling right now? Shame, guilt, right?
Right.
Disgust. Spiritually, you feel like you're in a void, don't you?
Right.
Now, scene number 2, you're walking in the park. The young lord or lady is flying a kite. Kite falters, crashes to the ground. You launch the kite in the air, and now he's got the kite, he or she's got it dancing in the wind. Right? Physically, what's happening to your body right now? You're feeling young again, aren't you?
Yep. Feeling young again.
Energetic. Right? Emotionally, what do you feel experiencing? Joy, happiness, peace. Right?
Yep.
Spiritually, I bet you feel like you're that kite and touching the heavens.
Yeah, that would be about right.
Now, that's the threefold law. How we affect ourselves and others by the choices we make at the time we make them. It is a dharmic principle. Now, tell me that doesn't change the premise.
Right, because that's where I think a lot of people have a misunderstanding about how the threefold law actually does work, because they're thinking of it in
well, if I give you $1, I get 3 back later, is how they think it.
Yeah, right.
It's not mathematical, folks. It's not mathematical. It is how we affect ourselves and others by the choices we make. So when Gerald Gardner and Doreen wrote, mind you, threefold law, you should 3 times bad, 3 times good. What you send forth comes back to you, so ever mind the rule of 3. If you notice how you were affected physically, emotionally, and spiritually by your action, as well as what you affected the kid with.
Oh, yes. Angelina, yeah, people really do think that.
Yeah, they
'Cause
think it's mathematical.
yeah, I've heard it used that way many times.
And unfortunately, it's a misconception that I'm hoping that this little lesson and your video will clear up in the future. Because the last verse of the word of the read is what everybody knows. Only the 6 words
Yep.
or 8 words. These 8 words the wicked read fulfill it. Harm you none, do what you will. Follow this with mind and heart, and merry meet and merry part. Those 8 words are what everybody knows
Right.
about the read. That's all they know about
Yep.
the read.
That's that's in fact, that's the only reference I ever hear is just that part. I Nobody ever mentions anything else about the Wiccan Reed.
The Wiccan Reed is a poem that basically shows our practices and what we do. It's a poem that expresses the way we practice the craft.
So, but basically, what we're trying to let people know is that if you have not read the full Wiccan Reed, do so.
Definitely. And if you want to memorize it or learn it, there is a way of learning it. If you're an ex-Christian and you know a little Christian song called "Jesus Loves Me,"
Mm-hmm.
you can actually sing the reed to that tune.
Oh, wow. That I did not know. Interesting. The other way would be to actually have well, I tell people that actually get a printout of it, post it up where you can read it on a regular basis. That way you'll get to know it on a regular basis.
Exactly. And like I said, the full Wiccan Reed does teach us tells about what the craft is and what we do.
Mm-hmm.
It tells about the Sabbats. It tells about the Espats. It tells about the 9 woods and what the 9 healing woods are and what they represent. That comes from Druidic tradition, by the way, and old Druidic practices.
Mm-hmm.
It tells about how we deal with others in the reed. For example, where the rippling waters flow, cast a stone, the truth you'll know. When you haven't hold a need, hearken not to others' greed. Or with a fool no season spend, nor be counted as his friend. Merry meet and merry part, bright the cheeks and warm the heart. When misfortune is a now, wear the star upon thy brow. True in love you must e'er be, lest thy love be false to thee. That thing that right in there is how we deal with ourselves and others, right?
Right. Basically shows us that we need to be mindful, be respectful of other people's traditions and other people's paths.
Exactly. So I highly recommend, going to my site, download the Wiccan Reed copy the Wiccan Reed from the site. It's fully accessible. Study it, put it in your own words.
Exactly. And the other thing that we were mentioning earlier on at the beginning of this broadcast is that the one real way of learning is by going to either a high priest or a high priestess and learning the right way.
Definitely consult with a high priest or high priestess. Learn the way of the craft, the way of the wise.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, there are many of us pagan elders out here in the community that are more than willing to teach. All you have to do is ask. We'll be happy to help.
Now, let's see. Let's see. Oh, yeah. You want to get into the virtues of the way?
The virtues, the 27 virtues?
Yeah.
The 27 virtues of the way is from the Congregation of the Oak. This is a Druidic or Wiccan practice of paganism that tells what the virtues are that you need to follow, to have within the craft. The first virtue is forbearance, okay, or patience.
Mm-hmm.
The second one is wisdom. The third is truth, being truthful. Okay. The fourth is faith. The fifth one is love or kinship. The sixth one is hope. Seventh is honor or integrity. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Eight is humor. 9 is insight. 10 is service, being able to, give into the community, giving back
Right.
to each other. 11 is perseverance, which is the motivation to improve yourself and keep going.
Mm-hmm.
12 is confidence, being 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 confident and being self-assured in what you do. Recognize that you are a co-creator. 13th is courage. 14th is compassion. 15th is moderation. Very important one there, moderation, because the simple fact is that anything too extreme can injure or harm you.
Right.
16th is determination. 17th is kindness. 18, responsibility. 19, loyalty. 20, charity.
Mm-hmm.
21, stability. 22, piety. 23, serenity. 24, integrity. 25, hospitality. 26, longevity. And 27, strength. Okay, those are the virtues that make up a complete whole individual in the craft. Ones that we should strive to practice on a regular basis.
Right. I agree with you completely. There are a lot of things in there that a lot of people need to know and understand. Now, myself, I've run on to certain people who have wanted to do nothing but tear others down for what they believe in. And even myself, with trying to build community with unity by bringing the community together, there are people out there who have basically taken upon themselves to destroy that image of bringing people together, which I can't really understand why, but I really don't, I don't even take the time to try to understand it anymore.
But like I said, you have to be willing to, I guess you got to be willing to go the whole length when you're in a craft.
Mm-hmm.
It's not something you do half measured or half assed.
Right.
You're in it all the way or you're not. I mean, yes, your faith is going to get questioned. Yes, you're going to have times when you're going to struggle with the faith. The fact is, I had one very, very, very strong test of faith years ago, where I literally ripped my pentacle off my neck and I was wearing a rat tail. So you can imagine how much of a test of strength faith that was. It was on a rat tail cord and I ripped it off my neck.
Oh, shoot.
It is a way of life, not a hobby. Exactly, Angelina.
Right.
This is something you live, as I mentioned earlier, you live, eat, breathe, sleep, are. And when I had that test of faith, I asked the goddess, I said, Goddess, what is my purpose? And she said, and I got one response: teach. That is your purpose. And since then, I've been willing to teach, I've been a teacher, been teaching the craft, been teaching the way. and devoted all my time and energy into the PRC and in doing this website,
Right.
which is a tool for teaching.
Yeah, it actually is. It's about like me being shown time after time that it comes down to one word: healer. And that's basically the path that I have been on for a long time. And yeah, there is no better honor in that, Angelina.
I
Really,
totally agree. I totally agree with the and the willingness to be a teacher has its own honor itself. Because it's like you have to be really willing to teach and learn, and in order to teach, you must be willing to learn as well. I
right.
learn on a daily basis. I'm forever updating the site and researching and doing other things, more and more research on a daily basis. Never stop learning. In fact, as I did the site also as a cure for ADHD.
Ah, okay.
Because information always changes, information grows, information evolves.
Right.
It's not something I can complete in my head and I'm done. And
No,
one of the symptoms of ADHD is be able to complete something in your head, you're done with it, and you don't finish a project because one can never stop learning. Nope. Life experience itself is that, a learning experience.
exactly.
And I've always said I'm not a human being. I'm a human doing.
Yep. And the reason why he has chosen that is because that he wants to be actually doing things instead of focusing on things that had been done.
Well, see, I look at being as just existing.
Hmm.
Okay, the word being is just existing. I'm a human doing. I'm experiencing. I'm experiencing my choices. I'm experiencing life. I'm experiencing the adventure of life. That's why I say I'm a human doing, not a human being.
Cool. Okay, now there's another section here that I was going to have you touch upon. We can get back to there we go. Let's see. Oh, I can't remember what it was now, but there was another section of that I was going to have you get into. But overall, um, Grant, now I know that you're still doing work on this, but this is available on the net right now, right?
This is available on the net. What's right here? Okay. Other things that are going to be available as soon as I figure out how I want to format them are going to be a complete theogony of every world religion, every world pantheon. All the gods and goddesses of every world pantheon will be listed. I already have it complete. I just haven't figured out how I want to set it up yet.
Angelina's already got it bookmarked.
Thank you. Enjoy yourself looking through it, and hope you get a lot out of it. I mean, there's a lot more going to be added in the future. Trust me.
Oh, and I'm pretty sure that my co-host, she's going to have this bookmark as well, and because when she gets back on, um, I know that she's probably going to be reaching out because she's going to have a lot of questions.
I'll be happy to answer them.
So now, besides doing all of this and teaching, now you're also a musician. Um, you've also written, let's see, you've also written a book too, right?
I'm working on a book right now, currently
Okay.
called Today's Witch, or it's in the works. It's not something that's complete yet because I'm trying to complete several other projects at once.
Cool.
But I'll be eventually finishing up the book Today's Witch. Then I'll be getting that published. I'm working on. I'm also a musician, singer, songwriter. Been done a lot of. I do a lot of things. I'm very eclectic on what I do. I mean, I do everything from arts and crafts to I'm even opening a store in the future, which will be attached to this site, by the way. March 22nd, we officially have the store open for the site.
Oh, okay.
And the store itself is nonprofit because it's to help support the PRC and fund the PRC. So any purchases are a tax donation or tax write-off. And I'll be offering everything out, every product on my store at 15% off the suggested retail price.
Which is nice of you to do, because there are so many out there that always wind up marking things up when it comes to supplies in the community. And I know a lot of people do a lot of exploring, trying to find the right place to get their items from.
I didn't quite catch all of that. I'm sorry. I have a little bit of tinnitus in one ear and I'm deaf in the other, so I'm having a hard time hearing at times.
Oh, okay. Well, I know that a lot of people do a lot of searching when it comes to things that they want to buy. And so basically, when it comes to, we always tell people to shop locally within your community. But there are stores out there that basically have all their items doubled in price from everybody else. So it's good that you're wanting to do that.
Yeah, I'll be like I said, and free shipping. I'm eating the shipping. So that's another thing.
Very nice.
So, and like I said, it's a tax donation because it all goes into help funding the PRC. The store is going to be called PRC Earthways.
Ah, okay.
It'll be located on the main page. So it will be located on the main page. It'll be open March 22nd. I will probably have a soft opening sometime earlier before March. Oh, the items I will have in the store are going to be crystals, herbs, incense, altar supplies, clothing, athames, altars themselves, statuary, home decoration stuff. Pretty much anything to meet your pagan needs.
Yep. So he's going to have pretty much everything that anybody could really want.
Yep.
That is always a good plus. Now people have another option to go to for all their supplies.
There'll be books as well, posters, bumper stickers, all sorts of neat things. So, and if you're looking for a particular item, right, then if I haven't got it on my store, I will find it. I'm a shopping ninja.
Cool. And just to let everybody know that we here at Iowa Pagan News also has our own line of merchandise as well that you can find at the site. I've got scrolling across the ticker as we speak. You can check that out. I've got it listed on the Facebook group, business page, and also at our website at iapnradio.net. So be sure to check that out too.
Oh, hey, Reverend Williams, would you mind putting up the PRC?
Oh, sure, yeah.
Yep,
that I can do.
website so other people can get it, so they don't have to strain their eyes looking at the screens?
Yeah. Let's see. Rattle that off to me here right quick.
The index one ad, it'd be prcupcc.org, index one.
PRC.
upcc.org
Okay.
//
Yep.
index1.htm.
Index is number one or ONE?
Index number one.
Okay.
.htm.
Okay. HTML.
HTM, not HTML. Just
Oh,
HTM.
okay. Gotcha. Okay. There we go.
There you go. In addition to that, also, by the way, for those who like music and chants, I have a whole list of pagan chants here from A to Z that actually play the music behind the background. I'll just show you an example right here. That gives you an idea. Each
Yep.
one of the chants has their own music behind it. You can actually hear the chant. So you can learn the chants that you.
Very cool. As I say, there are several that I've heard people use over the years.
That's just one of the many things I offer.
Very cool. So this is going to be a real comprehensive site for everybody that can have all the information that they need right at your fingertips.
Virtually, yes.
Whereas back in our days, where we actually had to consult a index card drawer or the encyclopedia to get anything.
Consider this a grand grimoire.
Exactly. I like that notion. I really do. Yeah, with technology the way it is these days, it's allowing more people to actually have an outlet to have the information that they are looking for and need in their practice. Um, Whereas, like you said, back in the old days, you had to consult books, you had to go to the library, you had to consult the encyclopedias, you name it. But now we have a lot more resources open to everybody to help them learn.
Well, like I said, everybody feel free to use my site. That's what it's there for. I don't charge either. There's no fees.
Very cool.
Because I feel that the craft should not be something we charge for. It's something we live, not something. Oh, that's nice to hear, Angelina. You have a small business. I wish you well with it.
And let's see. Aha. Okay. And let's see. Oh yeah, she said that.
Yeah, it's under Wishtanica.
But I think a lot of people can agree with you there, Angelina, about the smell of an old library.
As do I love the smell of an old library. There's nothing like a book.
Very true. Very true. Yeah, I mean, there are certain resources that, that we don't have any problem sharing for free, and but the only thing about this is that we also should be uh, assisting
each other.
right, assisting each other in whatever way we can to so that people like Ed here, with doing all the work that he's doing, and also for our pagan authors, buy their books and to help support them in their endeavors, and so that they can continue doing what they love.
And I welcome the new generation of witches to actually come into the craft, but come in with an open mind and understanding, and come in not with the belief that that is just something you do, because then you're coming in with the wrong intention.
Mm-hmm.
The craft is a lot more than that. It's something
Right.
you live. For example, I can give anybody a spell, how to cast a spell. In fact, I can give you a simple spell right now. Very easy to do, how to get a job. Right? And that's you take a brown candle and a green candle. You anoint the brown candle with the symbol Berkana, which is a bee-like symbol. You know the green candle with the symbol Gabo, which is an X-like symbol. Right? You write the name of the you anoint both with basil oil, write the name of the job you want, and burn the candles. But if you sit on your ass and don't fill out an application, get any job?
Nope, you're not going to get anything doing that.
No, but does that mean the spell didn't work? No, that means you didn't work.
Right.
A spell is nothing more than taking a subconscious idea, bringing it into conscious awareness so you can take physical action, and that's the result. If you have any other concept of a spell other than that, you're totally misaligned.
Agreed. Very much. Okay, Ed. Let's see. Now, I know that we showed everybody the compendium. You want to let other people know how they can go about getting in touch with you?
What's that?
Yeah, you want to go ahead and tell others how they can go about getting in contact with you.
Okay, you can contact me through my email address, which is Tamarin, Tango Alpha Mary, Echo Romeo, India November, in the phonetic form. 33 at yahoo.com. I can be found on Facebook. You can also directly email me through my website. And I do have a phone number which I can be reached at almost 24/7, which is 215-954-5865.
And I also want to let people know that this video will be getting posted up on YouTube channel for Iowa Pagan News. So you can go back later on if you need that information again. You can find the video over on YouTube, and you can also find it on the business page for Iowa Pagan News as well. That way, in case you miss anything, you can go back and you'll be able to go back and get that information. All right. Well, I definitely want to thank you for taking time out this evening to join me this evening. And this has been a real pleasure getting to know a lot more information, getting to know what you're doing for the community, and uh, knowing that we do have elders out there like yourself who are willing to help teach.
And I thank you for having me, Reverend Williams. It's been a pleasure being here.
I definitely want to thank you. And you've been listening to another version, or I should say, another edition of Iowa Pagan News on the Prairie Land Radio Network. And yes, I do go by Reverend Silver Wolf Williams, as I am also an ordained minister in the pagan community. But I will, in fact, just talking with Ed here earlier about I made the decision to undergo classes with a high priestess so that I can be initiated and even one day earn the title of a high priest. But that's a long ways off yet. So, anyway, I want to wish everyone a pleasant journey and also a good evening. For those of you who are here in the Midwest, stay warm. It's only 6 degrees tonight. So definitely stay warm, keep your pets inside. Have a good evening, and I'll be back again. Let's see. Actually, we're going to be back tomorrow, I believe. Yeah, we're going to be back tomorrow with um Kavenna Charlotte, who is a very great person that you're going to want to meet. This is going to be part 3 with her coming up. Pleasure journeys, everyone. We are out for tonight, and thank you for joining us.
Thank you.